I have nothing against the plain Jane females. You know, and what I mean by that, like the females who doesn't go out, the female who doesn't like get their makeup done, the female who doesn't really get their hair done often. But why is it so hard for us pretty girls to come across a decent guy? It just seems like all the guys, the good guys, always like cuff the plain Jane females. But I just feel like, you know, being pretty is just a curse.
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
To all of the very straight men in the comments on my Pride post who are threatening to unfollow me. Oh, you're gonna unfollow me? No, you're not. You're not going anywhere. You're not unfollowing. You're gonna miss all the fun.
But women like this, most men will not date them. That's just a fact.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.
One of the biggest reasons I started a podcast a number of years ago was because of my infatuation with modern day dating. My infatuation and curiosity around modern day dating has now catapulted through the roof. Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got a Podcast, and of course I'm your host Didi, back up in this witch with another video, man. If you are new to the show, please know we are thirsty to grow. And to drink some of this water, you can help me out by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. But don't worry, I'm going to give you a sec to do that. Help me out. Thank you. But something else that I noticed when it came to modern day dating over time was that a lot of pretty women were single. When I was out here on dating apps and I was taking girls out on dates, I was so excited that they were saying yes to these dates and that I had a chance to be in a relationship with them, right? And to be able to spoil them and do things for them and prove myself to them, that I wasn't really noticing a trend. And that was 4 or 5 girls in a row over the past year and a half that I've taken on a date that are really pretty, that are single, right? And I can't speak for you, but I know for me and a lot of my male friends, we always ask the question, and we've been asking the question, how are you single, right? How is it that this girl is single? Because I know it's a weird question, but it's like, you're a pretty woman. How is it that you're single? Because I know I've always said, and I'll continue to say it, the average looking woman will always have way more options than the best looking man. And it won't even be close. That's just how it is. It is what it is. Well, Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks are 2 examples of women that prove why it is and answers the question for me as to why it is that many women are single.
Joy Taylor, who every time I scratch my eyes is looking more like Jamel Hill. It's the only way people will listen to her because she doesn't really know anything about the game and never really has.
The next time a woman's up for a job, I don't want to hear about the experience that she needs to have it.
I'm using her thinking.
I love a good unqualified man hire. Ooh.
Love it.
How does Joy Taylor have a job talking and grading football players and teams on a sport she never played? She never put a helmet on once. She doesn't understand how it really goes down. She doesn't know what she's looking at. How does she have a job talking about football?
An opportunity that he is completely unqualified for.
She doesn't have that job if Jason Taylor's not her sister. Let's go. If Jason Taylor, a Hall of Famer, isn't her sister, nobody knows who Joy Taylor is. Nobody even knows who she is. I'm sorry.
If you don't know who Taylor Rooks and Joy Taylor are, they are 2 women that are, I guess you can call them commentators. I guess you can call them journalists, where Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks have a podcast together, and Joy Taylor had a few things she needed to get off her chest.
Okay, so it's time to make this announcement. I have been choosing to not talk about this for quite some time, and the universe has forced this upon me. So I want to say, to the men, to the women that have men, to the women who have friends that have men, I want you to know, I do not want you. I do not want your man. I do not want your friend's man. I can't say that slower and more clearly. Let me explain. If I'm speaking to you, human being, I'm doing just that. We are having a conversation. Most likely a very casual conversation that lacks depth. I am not, and I cannot stress this enough, I am not flirting with you. I am not flirting with your man. I am not flirting with your friend's man. I'm not. I promise you, I'm not. This continues to happen to me where I will just be speaking to a person, to a man, and either he or his girl or his girl's friend will say something to me like, oh, well, I really need to get back to my girlfriend. She's going to be upset that I'm talking to you. Why would she be upset?
Now, before I even get into that and talk just a little bit about my problem with what she's saying, let's actually take a step back and just like analyze who Joy Taylor is. This is a woman who's been in the sports world, sports media world for however many years. And this is a woman who religiously is known for coming to work with not just her cleavage out. I'm talking about an excessive amount of her cleavage out. And pretend like she doesn't have her cleavage out. This is a woman who religiously comes on podcasts like this one right here.
For sure.
You know,
and I think the overall overarching point of the conversation, which was a little lost in all of the comments and retorts,
and pretends like she's not there to talk about life, work, dating, whatever. But she's dressed with majority of her cleavage out. But she pretends like she doesn't have her cleavage out. This is the same woman who comes on her podcast and pretend like she don't understand why a woman would feel skeptical or weird about her having an extended conversation with their man. Here's the thing. Joy Taylor does understand that. She's being disingenuous. This is a woman who is very beautiful and she knows it, but she's also very full of herself. This is a person that you call the opposite of humble. This is a person that has that day coming when they're gonna be humble, right? Because she has a ton of options. This is the person, as I understand it, who has been married before, that is now divorced, that has been engaged before and the engagement was called off. And now you wonder why it is that a lot of people are skeptical with the way in which they interact with you. Taylor Rooks is another example. She's one of those women, very beautiful, very, very, very beautiful women. But you have to question sometimes, like, how is it that you're getting all these interviews with these professional athletes, all these millionaires? Like, how did you get that position? No one's saying that you have to do anything unethical to get there, but for you to pretend like you being a woman, a beautiful woman, had absolutely nothing to do with it is absolutely insane.
It used to bother me when I would do these interviews and then everybody makes their joke about, oh, they're sitting in front of Taylor, like everybody's gonna lie or over exaggerate, whatever. That used to really bother me because I felt what people don't understand about interviewing, or at least with me, is that charisma is a skill. Making people feel comfortable is a skill. Being able to sit in a chair and get somebody to tell you something they've never said before is a skill.
So that was a clip of Taylor Rooks trying to explain to people that, hey, you all may have a lot of jokes about, hey, people sitting across from Taylor Rooks, but really it's about charisma. You have to understand that charisma is a skill and being able to make a person comfortable. Taylor Rooks, what are you talking about? Comfortable in the sense of you being a beautiful woman that they want to have sex with? Is that what you mean? You mean pretending like when you show up in these skin tight dresses, you showing up with this cleavage out against these grown men, in a lot of cases single men, and in some cases taken men, and them pretending like they don't see what you're wearing, them pretending like they don't see your body, them pretending like they're not attracted to you. You mean to tell me that has absolutely nothing to do with how you're getting these interviews? Why they're agreeing to interview with you? Is that what you want me to believe? Women like this confuse me. They confuse me because I was so naive that I actually believed that despite what a woman looked like, whether she was extremely attractive, moderately attractive, of course that's subjective, it's in the eyes of the beholder. But a woman that's universally attractive, I still thought that those type of women wanted one man. And in some cases, that is the truth. But in cases like this, women who have the notoriety, they have the publicity, they have the looks, they have the attention, they have the followers. I'm still surprised in 2024 that these women behave almost like men, in the sense that they know that they have options, and so they're not willing to commit to one man. And if they do, they have such high standards, and they're so bougie and so critical, so that it can be very easy for them to be single again, so that they can entertain other men, that to this day I'm just baffled. My mind is blown.
I just want to say this because this really been on my mind lately. I have nothing against the plain Jane females, you know, and what I mean by that, like the females who doesn't go out, the female who doesn't like get their makeup done, the female who doesn't really get their hair done often, the plain Jane females, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have nothing against y'all, but why is it so hard for us pretty girls to come across a decent guy? It just seems like all the guys, the good guys, always like cuff the plain Jane females. Like,
that is just simply not true. That's just a very dishonest thing to say. So first of all, for you to be able to come on camera and call yourself pretty, a pretty girl, simply because you choose to take more time to add superficial or artificial things to your body to present yourself a particular way to the public, it's absolutely conceited and a little bit removed from reality, in my opinion. The second thing is, you said good men are hard to come by. No, they're not. And I think when you consider things like the Pop the Balloon shows and the podcast, I think it's being revealed more and more every single day that quote unquote pretty women, and I'm going to tell you what that's actually called, because you all are not necessarily pretty just because you have makeup on. Pretty women have good men that approach them all the time. All the time. Y'all just choose to not want those men. You all have a particular type of men that you consistently seem across the board to always like. I've seen it over the years. Of 100% men in the world, types of men in the world, women like you typically and usually want a man of a particular type of percentage, like 3%, 3 to 5% of all types of men. And then you say you don't have good men.
you know, us pretty girls, and I'm not calling the plain Jane females ugly. I'm just saying like the pretty girls that's extra, you know, we love to dress up, we love fashion, we love keeping our nails and our hair done. And we just like to look good, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, it's hard being a pretty girl because I feel like it's a curse. Because I feel like we go through so much, and I feel like we always gotta prove ourselves to a nigga for a nigga to realize like we are the one, like we good girl.
Another thing that I will point out just really fast, and I don't think you'll receive this information even if you ever saw this video, or for female who are just, or women that's just like you, was to see this video. I just don't believe that you'll accept the information. I hope I'm wrong. But another thing that's attractive is the way that you carry yourself and the way that you speak. And you using the N-word and the way you talk is already coming off as unattractive to me, because I'm just personally not attracted to ghetto. And you come off as a little ratchet to me already. Secondly, what's very important to understand is that most men prefer natural. A lot of women seem to hear that and seem to not care. They'll say, I don't dress up for you, I dress up for myself. But are you gonna marry yourself, right? Are you going to protect yourself against other men? Are you going to have children with yourself? Like, are you want to start a family with yourself? Now, if you do, if the answer to all those things is yes, then fine. But more times than not, the answer is going to be no. What am I missing here? Am I missing something? When it comes to women like this, I'm always so confused. These fake eyelashes, this fake hair, this makeup, and a lot of times you all don't just put on makeup, you cake your face with makeup, right? Fake eyelashes, you can't even wear your own eyelashes. Fake nails. Some of that stuff, like maybe nails, maybe a little bit of makeup, a lot of men won't mind it. They'd prefer if you didn't, but they don't mind it if that's what you want to do. But you women go overboard. BBLs, getting your boobs done. Most men do not want that. Most men want natural. And you're wondering, so women like that tend to usually hypersexualize themselves, which is not marriage material. Those are the type of women that men typically look at, and if you're of that lifestyle, you say those are the type of women I'm going to have sex with, I'm going to quote unquote smash and keep it moving. Those are the type of women I want to go out and be seen with, just so I can take her back, do what I want with her, and move somewhere else. But as far as putting a ring on your finger, as far as trusting you, as far as like having those morals and those standards that I'm looking for in a woman, oh, absolutely not. It's just not going to happen.
But I just feel like, you know, being pretty is just a fucking curse. And, you know, I done dealt with, you know, guys or whatever, and I done, you know, have a conversation with guys, and they'll be like, oh, I'm scared of you. Like, what? What you mean you scared of me? Like, I don't be getting that. Like, what you mean? Why are you scared of me? I'm not gonna harm you, little old me. Like, I'm not gonna harm you. I'm not gonna hurt you. So why would you feel like you scared of me?
I think that is a very disingenuous thing to say. Little old me, I'm not gonna hurt you. You know exactly what he means by that. You know exactly what he means by that. When he says that he's afraid of you, I don't know the man personally. So I can't speak for him. But I can, if I was to guess on his behalf, I would probably say that you give off arrogant vibes. You probably give off vibes like you have options. You probably give off vibes like you're full of yourself, right? You probably even give off vibes as if you would cheat on him, right? And so even if he got something great going in his life, he probably look at you, which in my opinion, I'm not attracted to you. No disrespect. I can see past the makeup and things of that sort and the fake hair. You can't trick me with that type of stuff. But if a man is already attracted to you and he's pursuing you, but he see that you carry yourself with this sort of, maybe even if it's just confidence, but he see that you go out, you put a great amount of time into your appearance, your makeup, your outfits, your hair, you look dolled up. He probably look at you and think, that just makes it just that much more difficult to keep her, because other men are going to be competition when they see her. And I don't know if I'm secure enough in myself in this relationship, if I've proven myself enough to you to be able to keep you, because the way in which you behave, you give me reason to believe that you will entertain other men. That would be my guess.
I don't know, is it because they know we got options and they feel like we can find somebody that's better than them?
Bingo, I called it.
Or something like that, because I don't know. I just need answers from the guys. I need anybody to come in or inbox me and let me know, why do guys always say that to pretty girls? They always say, oh, I'm scared of you. I'm scared of love. I'm scared to date you. Why is that? I just need answers. And it's because y'all go and cuff the plain Jane females. Y'all go marry them. Y'all go do anything to please them. Y'all treat them like the queen that they are. And
probably because they deserve it, like you said. Maybe because they're a lot more trustworthy. Maybe because they're a lot more modest. Maybe because they're a lot more submissive. Maybe they are a lot less arrogant. Maybe they are a lot less aggressive. Maybe that's why. Maybe they don't follow female celebrities as much, right? Maybe they have more confidence in carrying themselves and being who they are, not just internally, but externally. Men value those sorts of things, right? A woman that you can take home to moms and pops is not the woman with the BBL, with the caked on makeup. It's like, who am I bringing home to my parents? I'm bringing home a dressed up version of who you are. No, be yourself. That's what I want. And most men that I know want that. They'll date a girl that has on makeup and fake hair and things of that sort. But if they have to choose, they're going to choose the woman that's natural. And natural is not just the physical physique, it's internally, because a lot of times they go hand in hand, believe it or not. So that would be my guess. Joy Taylor Rooks, but mostly Joy Taylor, remind me of this video and the woman in this video. You think just because you're pretty, you're supposed to get whatever you want. You think just because you get all these thirsty people in your comment section on social media, which isn't real life, that's thirsting after you, you have a big head now. You think that applies to everybody. This video of you coming onto your podcast talking about, I don't want your man. I don't know why you think I want your man. You do know why. This video was supposed to go viral. That was the purpose of you doing it. You was trying to get attention off of it. But it was also to bring attention to yourself personally so more people can look at you and recognize the fact that you're an attractive woman. I think you've done a great job of that. But women like this, most men will not date them. That's just a fact. Because these sorts of women crave attention, non-stop attention, and validation from people that they don't even know. Most men don't want that headache because at the end of the day, most men want peace. Another thing that I've noticed is women like this typically tend to have a very limited subject matter that they talk about, right? So you're supposed to be an expert on sports, right? Whether that be football, basketball, baseball, but yet your podcast, yet your social media revolves around relationships. It revolves around flirting. It revolves around past relationships. It revolves around marriage. It revolves around makeup. It revolves around your body. It revolves around attention, how you deal with attention.
To all of the very straight men in the comments on my Pride post who are threatening to unfollow me. Oh, you're gonna unfollow me? No, you're not. You're not going anywhere. You're not unfollowing. You're gonna miss all the fun. Where are you gonna go? But while you're kicking and screaming about all the sin, while you sleep with that woman that you're not married to, I want you to remember that I'm never going to stop supporting and celebrating my family and friends. So, fuck off. Also, there aren't too many things sexier than a grown man who is comfortable with his sexuality, who thinks that other people should have access to, like, human rights and equality.
I just don't get it. Whether it be because of the super popular Pop the Balloon shows, social media, reality TV, podcasts. And so I think I finally figured out the reason why it is that most pretty women are and will remain single, because there's a huge disconnect between what women are doing, what they prioritize, and what it is that men actually want when it comes to marrying you, when it comes to long-term relationships. Y'all up in the comment section, y'all give me y'all thoughts on what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and don't forget, you's a witch.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.